Okay, so here we have a example problem of a inequality problem, which I don't really like inequality that much, believe it or not, but it's okay. So here we have a company has two manufacturing plants for its artisan lamp production. For its artisan lamp production, plant A has 5 hours to produce one lamp, and plant B takes 10 hours to produce the lamp of the same model. So here I'm gonna immediately call plant A. I'm gonna let that be X. I'm gonna let plant B be equal to Y. So keep that in mind. So the company anticipates demands for at least 54 lamps and needs to have them available for sale in at most 480 hours. So a little side note, 480 hours at most, at least. Those are probably the keywords right there. And we see that it takes 5 hours to produce one lamp for A, and B takes 10 hours. So we see that A, it takes 5 hours to produce a lamp, and then B takes 10 hours to produce one lamp. So here we can set up an equation already. So we have 5x plus 10. Oops, it's supposed to be a y. Y is but not equal. So hold on. Before it says in most. So both companies have to make lamps in at most 480 hours at most. So they can't go over like looking at like reading strategies. It can't go over 480 hours, but it can also be 480 hours. It just can't be over 480 hours. So it has to be 480 hours, and it has to be less than 480, but it can also just be 480, right? And the company anticipates demands for at least 54 lamps. So that means that both Plant A and Plant B has to at least have 54 lamps. So it has to at least be 54 or greater. That's kind of like what it means. So this has to be greater than 54, but it has to at least be 54. So it's going to be like that. And another like restraint on this, which isn't like, it's more like logic. You can't have negative like manufacturing of lamps. So in terms of logic and context, X and Y have to be bigger than 0. And that's like your little like semi-system of equation. Now you can graph this. It's pretty easy to graph it. Just think of it as like a linear equation, and then think about, okay, what side of the area should I do? Oh, first of all, if it's a like a greater sign or like a less than sign with like an equal to, your line is going to be a shaded line. If it's like this, your line is going to be like a dotted line, kind of like that. Well, it could be a little bit better, but like a dotted line. So keep that in mind. And basically whatever makes it true, right? That depends where you're shading it. But I'm not gonna graph it because I have a tool that can help me graph, which is my good friend Desmos. So we see that we have our constraints. So I'll move this here. And we see that we have our constraints. So I already put the equations in there. Um, and it has to be X and Y have to be basically positive numbers. So that's pretty easy. It just basically takes our graph here and just puts it on this area of the graph right here, like this area right here. I don't know if you can see it on my mouse, but I don't know if I can write on the freaking screen. That'd be cool. But it's like the positive area of the graph, like here, for example. Just in case you can't see it, like if we have the graph here, we're just gonna be looking at this side, this area of the graph. So basically, what we have here is this area right here, and we see that this is going to be 1242. So here I'm going to draw like a semi-graph, and we see that we have a, like, it looks like this, kinda. Okay, what the hell? The heck? That's so weird. Okay, anyway, it looks like this, kinda. Yeah, nah, that's very bad looking. Ah, it's so hard to use Microsoft Whiteboard. Okay, let's try that again. I don't like drawing graphs. Graphing sucks. So it kind of looks like, oh god, it keeps doing that. Okay, so here it looks like that, and it seems like it goes down like this, and then it comes over like that. Okay, so here we see at this point, like this point right here, is 1242, right? And we see that it's also like shaded a little bit. So it's like here it's shaded, right? Yeah, here is shaded, like this area here, like all this area here. And then this part is also shaded like here. So it's shaded like that. And we see that actually like if you were to do it, it actually intersects right here. And there's also like open area, like on this side right here. So we see that the constraint is basically where the shaded regions meet. So it meets here and here. So it's kind of like this triangle. It's kind of like this triangle thing right here. Well, first of all, it can't be below. It can't be below the axis. But it's basically like this triangle right here. Oh, where there goes everything. Okay. Yeah, but okay. So yeah, it's kind of like that triangle right there. So that's kind of like the answer. I don't know how you're gonna put that into like an answer format, but I mean, you can find like the points of intersection. So it's gonna be like I don't know how you're gonna write this, but it's like this point here. So that's going to be on this graph is going to be 54. And then here, between 96 and 54, 0. So 54, 0. And then 96, 0. So it's gonna be that's gonna be the answer basically. I don't know how you're gonna write that as an answer. This is really weird. I don't do this. We didn't do this in algebra. It's very weird. But it's basically just gonna be between 54, 0 and okay. And 96, 0. And it has to have like a tip of the triangle, so it's gonna be tipping at like 1242. That's kind of like the answer. Is that little triangle thing. Again, I don't know how you're supposed to write this in like a answer to a question. I mean, like so it can't go over like the max is just gonna be 1242. Like if it goes over 12 and 42, like if x and y, if 12, if it's the max can be 12. So if it goes over 12, it can't do it. For y, if you plug in 42 into y, that can be the highest number. It can't do it. And there's also constraints here. So I guess that if so okay max, I guess this is your max, I guess your max is this. I guess that's like probably the answer. And then here we see 12 and 0. So let's say if y, so it's plant B. So if plant B made 0, if they made 0, the max that plant A has to do in order to reach the qualified thing, plant A has to make 54. They have to in order to reach the thing. In order to reach the specified thing, which is going to be 54 lamps. So plant A has to make 54 lamps, right? And then that has to be it. And then for here, we see that we have a. So what if we say, okay, what if plant B? Well, what if plant A made 0? Well, that means that plant B has to make 96 in order to meet your requirement. Now, again, I'm not a writer. I don't know how to put this into an answer, but all that this is what I'm saying. If plant B makes 0, if plant B makes 0 lamps, plant A has to make 54 lamps in order to meet the requirement. If plant B makes 90, if plant A makes 0 lamps, then plant B has to make 96 lamps. And anything between those things, and obviously between the max of 12 and 42, anything that's like in between, so in between that, they're gonna reach the requirement, basically. So, plant A can't go over 12 hours. Plant B can't go over 42 hours. And if plant B makes 0, plant A has to make 54 in order to reach the requirement. If plant B makes 96, well, plant A makes 0, then plant B has to make 96 lamps. So yeah, in order to meet the requirement. So I don't know, again, I don't know how to put that into a answer, but hopefully you understand. But yeah, that should be it, and hopefully you understand.